Matt Stepp, Dave Campbell's Texas football, back here in Midlothian, Texas, here with the head coach of the 3-0 Texas High Tigers, Coach Gerry Stanford, after a 51-13 win over Midlothian Heritage to spoil their homecoming. Coach, first off, congratulations.
Man, I appreciate it. Thanks for coming out tonight. Always glad to have you here.
First off, Coach, I think the second half told the story of this ball game. You know, you guys outscored them 28-0, kind of put the game on ice, and I thought you guys got it done with your defense. A couple of big plays, a scoop and score, and then a great interception in the end zone. Turned what was a kind of a competitive nip and tuck game, and you guys were able to run away with it.
You know, hats off to them. Coach Edwards and his staff do just a phenomenal job. They're a perennial playoff team year in and year out. Just really hats off to our kids and their effort. You know, I thought we came out offensively, hitting on all cylinders. The mistakes we did make on offense were kind of self-inflicted, and defensively we were just kind of in a fog a little bit. But the way we came out in the second half and played to the capabilities of what we're capable of doing for 48 minutes, I think that showed the physicalness and the effort that we had right there against a really good ball club.
I was going to ask, the first two drives, they were able to move the ball, and you guys converted a lot of third downs. You were winning first and second down, and they were winning third down, and they were to get a couple of – I think you scored the first two drives. Was it an adjustment, or was it just about you guys executing the game plan and playing with a little more fire and intensity in the second half? Because it looked like you guys were a different defensive ball club in the third and fourth quarter.
I think the biggest thing was just the focus. I mean, we were in position in the first half to make stops, but a couple of guys did their own thing here and there. When you do your own thing here and there, we say this all the time, the ball's going to find you. And so it really wasn't – it was more just a lack of focus than it was anything. But we came out, locked in the second half, refocused, and played with great energy.
Offensively, I mean, you got a bevy of skill players, a lot of guys who can make plays. As a play caller and for your offensive staff, it's got to be comforting for your signal caller to know that he's got multiple weapons, running and passing, that can hurt the other team.
You know, that really puts the pressure on the defense. When you can spread it out to guys who can do things with the ball in their hands, whether it's vertical underneath or in the run game with the offensive line, just doing a tremendous job all year long to this point. That puts a lot of pressure on defense to spread them out. We can work all phases of the field.
You mentioned your offensive line. Offensive lines across the state are kind of a work in progress because they need to kind of go work as a unit, and it's not always pretty in week one and week two. Do you see your offense? I mean, obviously got to watch film still, but do you feel like just off your first instinct that those guys are starting around in the form and getting to play the kind of football you want them to play as you move into these important district games later on?
No, I really do. I think you've got to have – I mean, winning in 5A and 6A football comes down to O-line and D-line play. That's where you've got to have some depth and you've got to have some toughness and obviously some skill set. Every week this year so far, for 3 weeks, we've seen a different defense than what they've shown on film. It hadn't changed. This week was no different. And hats off to them for putting a great game plan together that we had to make a lot of adjustments and get away from the game plan we had because of what they came out in. And so the O-line really adjusted to that early on in the game and did a great job giving us time to get rid of the ball.
You guys are in a unique position geographically because of the travel. You know, you guys, there's not a lot of schools your size that are around you, and the ones that are your size are in your district. So I know finding non-district games is tough. You're coming in the Metroplex. You're going to Northwest Arkansas next week to Fayetteville. That's a 5-hour trip. When you're dealing with that, how do you keep your guys focused on these long road trips? Is it about developing a routine, or do you guys have a system that you kind of deal with when you're taking 2, 3, 4 hour road trips?
You know, over the years we've kind of developed a system of how we handle things, and so we kind of get used to it. You know, even within our own district, we've got to go to White House here in a couple of weeks. It's 2.5 hours.
Sure.
You know, the shortest the shortest district game was got as an hour with Mount Pleasant, and so we get kind of used to being on the road. But at the same time, you can't come on the road and come off flat. You know, there's been times where we've come off flat. You got to wake up and get the fog out of your head and go to work.
Coach, congratulations. You have a safe trip home. Good luck the rest of the season. Good luck next week in Arkansas. Take care of business for the great state of Texas, and we'll see you down the road. Hopefully come playoff time.
Thanks, Matt. Appreciate you coming out, man.
Yes, sir.